Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko number 216 PW FG36. This is a door bottom, is what it is. This is a high-performance door bottom in multiple ways. Multiple ways, in fact. Let's go over it. So it's a bit folded together because these two pieces of aluminum actually are literally two pieces of aluminum. Okay. The packaging is crimping it over a little bit, but this is a 216 door bottom. This is PW for painted white. This is going to be available in all of the finishes from Pemko. A for mill aluminum, A for mill aluminum, BDG for bright dip gold, D for dark bronze, G for gold, maybe C for clear anodized. I'm not sure if they make a clear anodized. Obviously PW for painted white, SN for satin nickel, and I think they can even do this in a solid architectural bronze as well. This would be a B finish. You know what? Let's eliminate the guesswork on that. Let's check. You might be interested to know if they make this in a solid bronze material. What some people call brass, actually. 216B. They make them in a... They do not make an FG. FG stands for frost guard, and they do not make it in solid bronze in a frost guard version. And actually, it appears as if the only frost guard versions are available would be a bright dip gold, a dark bronze, and the painted white, and the satin nickel. So those are the finishes that they'll do the frost guard in, not all that I had previously mentioned, but almost. Why is it high performance? Well, first thing, it's got a drip cap. Drip caps are really effective when it comes to driving water away from the face of a door when they're installed on a door bottom. That small projection is known, witnessed, observable to be very effective at helping push the weather away, especially the moisture away from the bottom of the door. So drip caps make them very high performance. The fact that this is made of Pemko preen, a synthetic rubber from Pemko, is also making it high performance. This is not vinyl. This is a high grade insert material that would be significantly more durable than vinyl. Then lastly, it's high performance because it's a thermal break. The two pieces of aluminum are literally isolated from each other by this rigid piece of inserted material, and those two little marks you see there that you might think are damaged, they're not. They're dimples. They're there to prevent these pieces from sliding against each other and sliding away from each other. So they're there for a reason. People have complained in the past, hey, it's damaged. Well, there's a dimple here, or here I should say. It's going to slide if there's no dimple, and you do not want that. Nor do you want to lose the screws that just fell out. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. So all of those items, those three factors together conspire to make this a high-performance piece of weather stripping. A thermal barrier is really effective at isolating extremes from one side of the door to the other. And thermal break thresholds or door sweeps, door bottoms like this, will contribute to helping prevent the transmission of extreme loss of energy from one side, the outside, to the inside. Okay. Back to the drip cap. Drip caps are also used in overhead applications of doors. You'll very often see them installed in a movie theater where you have what's in effect a three-story structure, lots of surface area above that pair of doors that are emergency exits. You'll see drip caps over that because the amount of surface area is collecting all of that water. That's 6-foot wide opening, but you've got 25 feet of structure above it, and that's just all that's just coming down. Those drip caps installed at the header are generally about 2.5 inch, and they will really move that water off, preventing it from coming back in, coming down the masonry, hitting the lintel, wrapping back to the face of the hollow metal frame, underneath the margin between the header and the top of the door, dripping into the top of the door. Within 2 years, for sure, you will notice surface rust in that sort of application. So drip caps are... I have clients who install doors, and they'll say, we'll sell them doors for a long time, and they'll say, you know, this one customer's asking for drip caps. What are those? Oh, gosh, you should be using those. They use them, and then they're forever ordering them as standard equipment. I had a client call me one time and say, strip mall, masonry building, hollow metal doors on the alley. The concrete, the carpeting on the inside of the space, wet every time it rains. I'm not a roofer. I'm not a mason. The frame looked to be intact. Out of a loss of being able to suggest anything, I thought, you know what you might do? Put drip caps on the top of all these frames, because the water's got to be coming in from somewhere. And it looked like the roofer attested to everything was watertight, had tested it with a hose. No water. Put these $20 drip caps on, problem was solved. Solved, miraculously. Not miraculously, but it solved the problem. So now, this is pardon me, there are dimensional properties below this video that we can take a look at. The 216 is going to be specifically for an 1 3/4 inch thick door. We're not really going to get an accurate dimension like that, but it's for an 1 3/4 inch thick door. You've got 5/8 over on the small side or on the inside, and then you've got a 1/2 inch really from the bottom of the door to where that seal, your Pemko preen, is going to sit. So 1/2 inch. If you're going to be in the 9/16 range, 1/2 inch, 7/16, you can play with that a little bit, tug it down, I suppose, and make yourself a really nice seal. I wouldn't try to stuff that into too much more than 7/16 because those fins on there, you know, you don't want to really be overly compressing them. 1 5/16 on the outside height. Okay, I've had clients complain, frankly, that there are no holes on the inside to hold that inner channel on. I do certainly understand the concept. The factory doesn't make any provision on the inside of these screws, and I can tell you that I've never had one fail as a result of there being no screws on the inside. I think it's just some people will manufacture, you know, maybe an excuse for something not to work, I suppose. You know, I don't see a problem drilling some holes on the inside, but this is rigid enough to where nothing's really going to move. Okay. If the factory has engineered it this way, there's obviously some testing that's gone into it, is all that I can add to that. Okay. Listed in the site in lots of different lengths, everything from 2 foot to 8 foot. Not that you'd ever order an 8 foot length of this, but you're probably going to order 3-footers, maybe some 34 inch, 32 inch. If you have need for a custom length, by all means, let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces and indicate in the comment field the net length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. The reasoning is this. If you had to cut this back to, say, 32 inch, you're going to eliminate that slotted hole that's there. Drill a new hole, and now your centers are not equidistant all the way down. Drilling a slotted hole naturally isn't an easy task. And that slotted hole is handy because it will help you account for a sill that's not level, or maybe a door that's not square at the bottom. You could have a door that's literally not at a 90 degree on the bottom corners. It'll also help compensate for a misdrilled hole when you're drilling that pre-drill. You're pre-drilling the holes for the screws before that drill bit pierces in. It might have a tendency to walk a little bit if you've not used a center punch. So that hole, that slotted hole, will help compensate for that as well. The point of the matter is if you order a custom length, we'll not only cut it to length, but give you that first slotted hole at the proper distance from the edge and the proper center to center going all the way down. You're going to need to cut something most likely. If it's an in-swing door, you'll for sure have to notch the lip of the drip cap accordingly. Pemko can notch this for you. There is a significant. There's an upcharge. We will quote that for you. The advantage of having them notch it is I'm hoping that they will treat the face of that somehow so that you're not just getting raw aluminum exposed after that's cut. I would expect they're not going to send that out just cut. I would think they're going to treat that somehow, which probably has to do with why it's a noticeable increase in cost. But if you have an in-swing door, you're going to have to, this will have to be notched on both sides. There's no doubt. So be mindful of that. The Pemko preen always ships long. You're always going to have to trim that. I would want that to hang a little bit long. I'd want it to be much closer to the jamb than further away. So be mindful of that. Pemko also makes those corner pads, self-adhesive, rectangular-shaped pads that can mount at the bottom of the jamb in the door rabbet, so that when you have that interrupt between the weather stripping rabbet of the jamb and the seal on the bottom of the door, gives you some barrier that's there. Corner pad is what they're called. Dust pads, sometimes they're called. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Pemko products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the Pemko 216PWFG or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.